Hey y'all, my name's Megan. I'm a homeschool mom of 2 and welcome to Bold School. Ooh, if you're returning, then you'll know that's a little change to the intro. We're gonna kick it, Bold School. Yeah, I do use jam jars as drinking glasses, and that's because I'm a country girl, river hillbillies. No? Okay, listen, I will never do that again. Probably I will. So, in today's video, I am going to update you guys on how our January homeschool month went. I'm going to give you my overall impressions and then tell you what worked and what didn't work. So, you know what? Before I do that though, because I love you guys, I am going to go get my homeschool cart, which lives permanently downstairs, and I'll bring it up here so we can go through everything together. Okay. Okay. Oh. I'm coming. Oh, y'all, I am winded. That was some work, but only because I love you. That's why I did it. But I'm not gonna lie, like, the heater's on in the house, obviously, because it's still frigid here, and heat rises. I'm in the upstairs, and I had to take this. Yeah, I'm taking the sweater off. Okay, that is much, much better. If you guys watched my video on our plans for January, which we did earlier this month, you would know that my main objective or goal for the month was to really drill down on our homeschool academics. It's super cold outside. We can't go out and do all the things. So we had to stay indoors and really use the opportunity to get some stuff done. And here's how that went in terms of like my general impressions of it. Yeah, we did it, and it was fantastic. The month of January has to be, in terms of academic goals, the most successful month of our homeschool year thus far. So we're going to get into it now in terms of what worked. The first thing that worked really well for us in the month of January was my little Frankenstein planner that I made with some things that I created myself, and then I chopped up my homeschool planner from Megan at Schoolnest, which is amazing, and put it all together in here. Just as a brief overview, because I have reset this binder for February, but I did put together a little monthly calendar in the front. And then I also have our weeks 1, 2, 3, and 4 divided here for backwards planning. And that's where I've included my sheets from my Schoolnest planner. Then for every subject, which gets its own tab, let me flip over to, let's see, language arts, because it's the one I really have done for this month. I've created a goal sheet for each subject for each month, and it just has a word of intention, which for February will be continue. Then I have my subject focuses, which is like the main things we're going to be working on, and then a little checklist, and this is for the whole month. And I really found that giving myself a monthly to-do list, it just reduced my planning period, and it just made me, everything was open and go, right? I could just open the binder, figure out what we needed to do, and just start checking stuff off. So this binder, in terms of planning, was a huge success. I think maybe in the next couple of weeks, I'll do a video that's like a plan with me and show you how I've really fine-tuned this system and if I'll continue to use it next year. All right, let me show you something else that worked real well for us in the month of January. Okay, so this month we did restart our reading lessons with Grandma, and we did a little bit of review, looking once more at the short vowel sounds for you. So of course we added to our rhyming journal, but something else that I did that worked really well is I took our high frequency cards, our high frequency sight word cards, and I organized them into these little boxes. So inside of this one are the short vowel sounds. Is my short vowel sounds, A, E, I, O, and U, and then it has our cards inside. So one thing that we did this month is that every day with pretty good consistency, I had Miss Winnie choose a vowel sound, and then we pulled those high frequency cards out and reviewed them. Another goal we had for January was to get through our Bob sight word books for kindergarten, which we completed successfully, and then we did start on our Bob sight word books for first grade, and we're almost done for that set. Now, it was a goal to get them totally done for the month of January, but around here goals are flexible and we don't use them to, chastise ourselves. So I feel really good about the progress we made, and we're continuing to use the Bob first grade sight word books through February. The next thing that worked so good for us this month was our DART program from Brave Writer. I did a complete review on this last week, and I'll put that video up above and link it down below as well. We're actually a month behind on the DART program because we used December to do some really heavily holiday Christmas related reads. So we actually just finished December's book, which is Heartwood Hotel, A True Home, and this is by Callie George. I highly recommend this book. I now know that it is a series which we will be continuing. It is about an animal hotel that is set up inside of a tree in a really beautiful forest. Heavy, cozy vibes with this one. So if you're looking for a read aloud as we kind of progress through winter, this would be a great choice. If you watched that video on DART, you'll know that I like to put our big juicy questions on the inside cover. That worked out 100% for us this month. And then I will show you one of the dictations that Winnie completed in her primary journal. So she just has her dictation and then her illustration there. And we did a few of these, and it was just really fun. We got really into the book, and it was actually one of the first books that we've read where there's a character that you can kind of truly despise. Like, I know that sounds bad. As the parent and educator, I knew that of course that character was going to be given some redemption, but it was just funny to see a 7-year-old's reaction to really disliking a character. So our DART program went really well. We've already jumped into our book for February, which is Wishtree, and this is by Catherine Applegate. I got this book from Book Outlet, which is an online retailer that sells like additional stock from stores and publishers. I'll link a video of that down below too. So we only paid a few bucks for this really nice like hardcover copy of Wishtree, which we're also really liking so far. Okay. So just continuing, we had a great month. So the vast majority of this video is going to be things that worked really well for us. And the next thing I want to show you guys is we did finish the Who Was Martin Luther King Jr. book. We started this the week before Martin Luther King Day, and then we just read it for the rest of January, and we just really loved it. It was easy to read. It kept the kiddos' attention. We could read it in little chunks, and in terms of historical perspective, I really only had like 2 issues with it, which for me is pretty rare, and I'll go ahead and let you know what they were. So if you decide to purchase this book, it's just something that you can look out for and maybe address with your student. The first problem I had with the narrative is that it suggested that JFK, who was running for president at the time, because of his Catholic status, Catholicism, practicing Catholic, because he was a Catholic, he could somehow truly empathize with the racial struggle of Blacks in America. And I just found that to be not accurate. Yes, Catholics have faced discrimination in the United States from our conception. However, I would just never compare that struggle to the struggle of Black Americans. The other thing that I took some issue with was some description of rioting that occurred. I just felt like it did not sit right with me, if that makes any sense. So if you read the book and you feel that way as well, just note, besides that, I thought this was a really, really great book and a really great introduction into who Martin Luther King was. In addition, we had a great time with the virtual programming that the National Civil Rights Museum did. It was just excellent. And I'll actually put an image here of a drawing that Winnie Mae did with their kids programming that they had going on virtually. It was just really nice. There was singing as well as like it would get serious. They would let you know when the kids stuff was really coming on. We had a great time with that. So Martin Luther King Day was a real hit for us and a great segue as we step forward into Black History Month and looking at the Civil Rights Movement, which is what we have decided to focus on for Black History Month 2022. We also had a really successful month in terms of history, and we are using the story of the world, and this is volume 2, the Middle Ages. Now, this is not technically a secular history curriculum, but I would call it a worldview neutral curriculum, and I'm actually doing a whole video on this that should be coming out this week if you're watching this on the air date for this video or post date for this video. Anyways, we really were kind of going slow, not getting too much into history with this book because we've been focusing so much on Martin Luther King. But we just had a day where we got really into it, sailed through 2 chapters, and used our questions, which I had prepared in my binder, to go through and answer and make sure that Winnie was picking up on the narrative. We also made a popcorn recipe for National Popcorn Day that went along with our history, and we watched some movies as well. So we had a really good time with that. History is one of those ones that, because it is such a huge part of our family culture because of my interests, it's funny because we won't cover it in a classical academic stance way every day or every other day, but then when we do, we're just like in it to win it. And I think that's because my passion for it really comes through and gets the kiddos excited as well. All right, moving right along. The next thing that worked out really well for us this month was our math, and we used the Dimensions math, and this is the second portion of the first grade program. We are really loving this. We got a whole sort of chapter done in just the last 2 weeks of January, so it worked out really well for us. But what I really want to speak to as something that was very fun and exciting is we picked up this game, Race to Planet X, a number bond game, and we just had such a good time with it. It was such a way to really work on our mental math skills, really adding and to some degree subtracting sums from 0 to 20, but it was also a really good opportunity to work on those social skills of learning to live with disappointment, like not winning, or maybe mom's getting a little too competitive and, poking at your weak points, right? All of that went really well. And I actually saw some benefits from that in terms of seeing her social interaction with kiddos when we went to a video game day for homeschoolers just a few days ago, which that went really well too. It was so great to see local homeschoolers in our community, which is really small, get together and do something. And it felt very socially responsible. There weren't a ton of kids. We spaced them out in chairs. Winnie wore her mask the whole time. So it just felt really good, like something that I'm hoping we can repeat for the month of February. Also, these things. Why does it take me so long to get these doodads? They are good for everything. Measuring, counting, subtracting, just playing with. So shout out to these math cube manipulatives. I don't know why it's taken me 4 years into homeschooling to get my hands on some of these. All right, so I know that I've just been gushing and gushing and gushing about what worked for us. And really that was because we had such a fabulous month. But let's get into what didn't work for us. Okay, you guys, I'm a little bit embarrassed to say that the thing that really wasn't working for us was, again, our science. So we've been doing core knowledge science, which is great. It's a free curriculum, and I really, really like it. I don't have any complaints about the curriculum as much as I have complaints about me being consistent with doing science. It's not that I don't like science. I love science. It's just probably the area that I feel the least confidence in terms of teaching in a structured way that makes sense and feels like we're building towards something. So I will say that we're going to get better at that. It's something that we are working on. And we did not get to our Zoe and Sassafras book for this month or for January. And I think we're going to give it another shot because Zoe and Sassafras is always a huge hit for us and a real gateway into science. The other thing that did not work for us, like at all, in the month of January, and I'm actually reaching out to you guys asking for some advice, is that Patsy, my youngest daughter, PJ, she is 3 years old now. And up until this point, she's really just been our little tag along as we go through all of our homeschool days. And it's becoming really, really clear that we need to get some more activities in there for this kiddo. She's always just been there at the table with us, done some Montessori works, played into some kinetic sand, but your girl be ready for more, and I need to provide that for her. So it's been kind of goofy to make this transition from really homeschooling one child, my oldest child, with my youngest, you know, playing along and getting in those sensory activities, to now all of the sudden, midway through the year, being a homeschool mom of multiple learners. So I need all of the advice, the videos, what you guys do, all of that kind of stuff. I am looking into the Busy Toddler curriculum. I love Busy Toddler on Instagram. I'll link her below. And I think we're going to do it, but I first wanted to reach out to you guys and say, like, hey, did you have a really easy curriculum that you used with your little kids who are just kind of like ready to get going in something more formalized? Because I can actually see PJ, she's like stalking the house like a shark sometimes. You can tell she's just like looking for something to do. And if I'm not giving her something constructive to do, that's when bad things happen. And I'm doing the stickers and the dot markers and the sensory bins and the things. Like I said, I just think she's ready to start moving through a program of her own. So let me know what you use or any video suggestions, because I'm a little scared that we've gotten to the halfway point of the year and suddenly it's like developmentally, boom, she's there and she's ready to go. So those are really the only things that I have to tell you didn't work for us in the month of January, unless we just want to say winter, because it never works for me at all. We have been getting out in the snow way more often. And as a matter of fact, an update on our 1,000 hours at the end of this month, we are at just about 15. Ooh. We need to step up our outside game if we're gonna reach that 1,000 hours. But usually we catch up on that during the summer as well. Okay, something else very exciting. If you are watching this video, let's say Sunday evening or very early Monday morning, me and my friend Valerie from our Homeschool Castle are going to start doing Instagram lives 2 Mondays a month. And our first Monday is going to be January 31st at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're on Instagram or if you don't follow me, links down below. You can hop on there, give us those Q&As, give us those questions. We just want to have a conversation and create a community so that us homeschool moms don't feel quite so isolated. You are not in this alone. We're in this. We're all in this together. I'm sorry. All right, you guys. So you know what I'm gonna say, don't ya? Is it perfect? No, baby. And it was never gonna be. But is it done for January? Yeah, it is. So until next time, bye.